Right.
There we go. So we're actually going to do the GitHub review. Again, this is going to be a very basic overview. I am going to show you a couple extra features that Microsoft has included in there. I'm not even going to use a slide deck. We're just going to go for it.
Ooh, there we go. We can do that.
So we're going to keep it super simple. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a share screen. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try a feature I have wanted to try for a while. Let's see if I can do it.
You side questing here, Jamie?
No. I was going to do the you can only do it with a slide deck. You can't do it with like with a regular screen. That's fine. Where you can basically display it and it's like you're in front of it. And so your background becomes the foreground.
Slide deck.
But
I get you. But yeah, right. That's with the slide deck.
all right. Step number one. For those of you that have never used GitHub before, you have to get a GitHub account. So you just go to github.com. I'm going to drop that in chat, which of course disappeared the instant I started sharing. So github.com. So GitHub was originally a solo open source project that was designed around the thought that software designers need a place where they could collaboratively work on code. Now, today, that seems like a really easy thing to do. Like we think about the way Google Docs works and things like that, and you can collaborate and whatnot. But back in the day, that wasn't so. And that wasn't the way things worked. And actually, until Google Wave.
Yeah, think of software development team, right? You have people who are working on different user interfaces for the different parts of the app. They're working on some people are working on the API that's sitting behind the app. Some people are working on, the hooks between the applications and the database. So all this entire team is working on this one particular application. And like as Jamie's saying, the problem back then was, well, the only we could really share this stuff with was on a drive on your network that you're sharing things with. But that didn't really make life easier. So yeah,
and just to clarify, when we say drive in this context, I think back in the day we're actually talking like zip drive days. So just outside of floppy drive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, during the GitHub days, and we did have shared network file servers. That's what I was talking about. That's how we used to do it before we went to GitHub. Is you had a network file server that everybody was writing to.
Part of.
Problem was, of course, two people couldn't edit the same file.
Right. And so the catch was
actually in GitHub, we still don't want to do that.
Right. And so the catch is, and actually Box, if any of your schools or you personally use Box, you have the same issue. Their solution to that, or our solution to that, like pre-GitHub, was we had versions. And so we were like, I'm working on version 1.267, and then Charlie be working on version 1.2610. And then like whatever part he's working on, the part I'm working on, they would try to merge them together, these versions together. And so what GitHub really is, or what it started as, was version control. Was to take care of bringing those versions. I forgot all about Lotus Notes.
Lotus
You're going to take me back that far? You're going to
all right, Ahmed. Quit showing off.
Ahmed, that's hilarious. I forgot all about
Lotus Notes.
Wait, did I forget about
Lotus Notes? So I told you I was an IT consultant back in the late 90s, right? Yeah, we actually had to use Lotus Notes for that.
I forgot all about it. And it's funny how you say that you just know it's bad, apparently. So what was funny is about when you said it was like, I was about to say, I wonder if I was just blocking it in my mind.
There was, I will say, for the era. Okay, so a lot of things change over time. And you can go back on that and say, back in the 90s, so much production software, we look at it now and going, what the hell were you thinking? yeah, Lotus Notes was one of those. But back in the day, that was the bomb. It's like, oh
That
wow,
was the
you guys are
jam.
using Lotus Notes? That was awesome. Like, oh wow, okay, is this what you're doing? And then of course, there's so many other things too. Citrix servers was another one that kind of gone away, but back in the day, that was really cool. It's like, oh wait, you can remote into a machine and use
Hmm.
it, just a simple login. How are you doing over the internet? Wow. So
You guys are reacting to Lowe's. You just, yeah, that because you know why, Emma? We're react. By the way, you all can just talk. It's just us. It the reason we're reacting to this the same way we do as MySpace is because it was around the same time.
God, I figured.
Yeah, yeah.
oh my
Uh,
God,
But
Lotus Notes still exists. They've been bought out by IBM since then.
yes, yes. Yep, that's exactly. IBM asked us. Yes, that is exactly correct in the Reddit. Okay, so having said that, though, if you have that frame of reference that it was designed before a time where we could see each other writing and we could like your cursor's here and it's pink and mine is blue and we're working together. Before all that, it was based on version numbers. And GitHub was designed in such a way that you could bring those versions together, that you could merge them. I am not going to show you how to merge today. I am telling you that right now, that hurts. There are people whose entire job slash career slash purpose at work is to handle merge control. We're not doing that. So again, if you haven't already created a GitHub account, it's here. Microsoft bought them out back in 2018, 2017, 2018. And we were all concerned when that happened because we didn't know what Microsoft's going to do to it. But it turns out that they actually did a good job. Go, really, Emma? You're going to raise your hand?
Well, I hit the key on accident. I didn't mean
Oh,
to.
no, not a problem. Not a problem. So,
Well, now that you
right,
had your hand raised, you have to say something. You have to ask something. You just can't
I
can't
was
pretend it
typing a
didn't
question
happen.
in chat of just I have one student that needs help when you guys get a chance with those 2 emails. He's only gotten one. That's it.
Oh, with
oh,
the account. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which student is it? Because there's one that I'm worried
Uh
about.
Clarence, I think.
Oh, Clarence.
Clarence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We will take a look at that
Yeah,
shortly.
no rush.
Um,
Sorry to
oh,
disrupt.
actually, Emma, if
Mm-hmm.
you send a Slack message, I don't know if he's available, but it's worth a shot. If you can send
Chris
a
Ramos.
Slack message to Chris Ramos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you get that first email. Did you do the stuff inside that email? Like click the link and do that other thing and turn the dial and
You got to click
see.
the link or it won't work.
I
Yeah,
will
there's a link in
ask.
that email. You have to click on it. And that will take you to another page, and then you do something else, and then you get the second email, and then you're set. Then in that second email, you have to click a couple other things, and then you're set to go. It's a multi-stage
Seamless
process.
Yes.
operation.
All right. So here I'm actually inside of my GitHub repository, github.com/mehp. And inside of my repository, or inside of my repositories, I have a repository here called Git Intro. Now, the way I made this repository is over here on the right-hand side, I just click new. And in new, I gave it a name, and then I gave it a description, and I made it public. Now, I want to let you know for this event and or for your profile your portfolio, if you're doing a portfolio, you do want to make it public. And I also suggest you click add a README file. It'll make your life a lot easier. If you click on that. Thanks, Charlie.
I will
That
do
little
that.
setting will save you from having to have to figure out how to add things to your repository. It's an easy add. Just check the box. So add a name, add a description, make sure it's public, and then add click the little box for add a README file. All right. So I'm not actually going to create a new one right. Actually, you know what? Let's do the whole thing.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
let's create a
So,
whole new one. Yeah.
HPC in the city,
Hello world.
GitHub overview. GitHub over. Yep, that's spelled. It looks good to me. Looks
That
good
looks
to
weird
me.
though, doesn't it?
It does
It
look kind
looks
of weird.
it's like get Hugh Bover you.
Actually, let me make this a little bit bigger here so it's not so hard to see.
Yes,
So I gave it a name. It lets me know that it's available. For my description, I'm going to say used during the 2023 HPC in the city pandemics hackathon as an overview. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go to add README file. Because like I said, this makes your life a lot easier. Don't get me wrong. If you don't add it, you can still use it. It's just the screen looks very, very different. I'm not going to choose a license. I'm not going to worry about git ignore. I'm going to click create repository. And boom, bam, just like that, I have a new repository. If you notice, the link to it is actually the name github.com/my username/ the repository. So when you're creating your username, be aware, especially if this is going to be your professional GitHub, that you put something professional there. Just saying. Okay. All right. Step 2. So I have a repository. I have one file in here called readme.md. Now, let's say I want to modify this readme.md. Like I said, during the kickoff, that one of your deliverables will be a customized readme.md that has information for your group. So let's do that. Under readme.md, there's a little edit button here, the little pencil. I'm going to click that, and that's actually going to take me into an editor. Now, on the other screen, things look a little better than this. This looked like more of a header, and then that looked like regular text. Let's see if I can actually take a look at it. Let's see if I can open another screen here with that so you can see it. Yeah, there we go. So we can see this is what we call rendered out. It's rendered out. In the edit, this uses a language called Markdown. Markdown. And what Markdown does, you can basically think of Markdown as a shorthanded way or a programmer's way of being able to create documents. And you have certain symbols that go along with things that allow the renderer to basically render it out like a web page. For instance, that little hash mark right there, so hash mark, space, and then words, means I want it to be, in HTML terms, a headline one, a H1 headline. Now I can add another one in here. I'm going to click and I'm just going to hit enter a couple times. I'm going to add 2 of those, and I'm going to go important links. And I'm going to hit preview right here. And let's see what it looks like. You can see that that actually renders out just like a headline. So I'm saying headline, assuming that you all have had some experience in HTML. Have you had some experience in HTML?
Yes, I have.
Perfect. Perfect. So that makes sense, right? That I don't want to use phrases that you don't know. This is not, I am not here to talk over you. I am here to make sure you understand. If I'm using an example that makes no sense, tell me. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go back to edit just to prove my point. I'm going to do something here. Remember I said it's like this is like a H1 header in HTML. I'm going to copy that. Go over here. Do as I say. No, not that. Nobody was talking to you, Siri.
Here, right here, Jamie. Right there.
There we
Let me
go.
mark it for you.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm actually going to go ahead and put this as a H2. I had said, if it'll work with me here, put this as a H2. And then I'm gonna put the other side over there. And
Yeah,
then,
and now that just looks like normal HTML.
right,
Look at that.
I can do
Got a
that. So
paragraph
that's a
tag.
paragraph tag. All right, let me go to preview now. It looks exactly the same because it's the exact same code. It does all those marks do. So like if I have the hash mark, it's just telling GitHub in the background, it's actually using a program called Jekyll, to render this out as a headline tag. If it doesn't have anything, it just goes, oh, this is a paragraph, I'm good to go. Now, I'm going to give you a link here before I keep going with this, because I don't expect you to know all this stuff off the top of your head. There's no way. Now,
There's a lot to do with Markdown. So
yes,
really all Markdown is kind of like Jamie said, it's just a shorthand to go ahead and create some documentation and highlight things and italicize things and create links and whatnot. Very similar to HTML. So if you notice, what is HTML? Well, it's another type of Markdown. So
I'm actually going to
there
grab this right
there's a
here.
Markdown reference.
So I'm going to head back over here, and I want to put in a link for GitHub Markdown. And I'll paste it in there. Now, the other cool thing about Markdown is it'll automatically create links. So if I go to preview again, that automatically became a link. Let me show you why that's really cool.
That's awesome, Ahmed. Did you guys see that in the chat?
No, what?
You can do Markdown in Discord.
Yes, you can. You can also do Markdown in Jupyter Notebooks.
Yep.
So in Google, if you've used Google Colab before and it says the text box, that's the same thing as in Jupyter Notebooks, the Markdown blocks, and it's this Markdown. It's like things come full circle. I'm going to drop this link in chat because it'll help you. It'll help things make a little bit more sense as far as in some of the tags and things I use. Just for giggles, I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to do the same line a different way. So another way Markdown can actually understand, or the way it actually understands tags, is we do a brace, that, put a parenthesis, we'll put our actual link in here. Boom, B, D. All right. So let's see what that previews as. Exactly the same thing, except it actually puts the link under the text. I'm going to notice it didn't get the break there. Let's see if it does it this time. I might actually have to put a break in there. Nope, there we go.
No, there it goes. You're good. Sweet.
All right. There's one other way to do it. So let me show you the HTML way so you can see how all of this kind of ties together. So it's an anchor, href equals, and then we put our link, and we do that, and then we do GitHub Markdown. I'm just showing you that all of these are correct.
And they're basically doing the exact same functionality, same thing.
Exactly. So I go to preview, and looky there. It's like they look the same or something. But they're all the same thing. But anyway, I just want to put that out there so that you're aware that's Markdown. Now, let's get back to GitHub though. How do I save my changes? What you do, now this is a link back to that whole thing we were talking about having revisions. We have to commit it, and we have to keep in mind, back in the day, we needed to know some information about that vision. Imagine there are hundreds of revisions to a file, but somebody screwed up. Well, working collaboratively, you want to put messages in there to say what you did. So my commit message, I'm going to say I updated README, and then in my extended description, I'm going to say added some links to GitHub Markdown examples. And then I commit that update. And I misspelled that. I know I said GitHub. I just noticed that as I was clicking the button. But
Very nice.
now that file is actually saved. So if I go back to my repository, by that I mean I'm clicking on the name, updated readme.md, exactly what I typed, and my changes are all here and ready to go.
I'll give you guys a heads up. Those
Mhm.
messages are critical when you're working in a team environment. Like if I'm in this and I can see, oh, Jamie updated README. Why the heck did Jamie update README? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I see his check-in message. Okay, he did something.
And I'll even take a look at that right here. See the little history icon there. So when I
I think
click
you
on
could
it,
probably look at activity as well. But if you look at, yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But it
I don't see
shows,
your message though. That's weird. Usually has a
it doesn't
message
show
of what
commit,
you did back here somewhere.
update. Here it is right here. Updated readme.md. And when I
Yeah, but
click
you
on the
said you had
code,
you had spelled GitHub wrong, remember? So where's
oh,
that wrong spelling?
let me go there. That's in the description.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I was looking for.
Where's my description? There we go. I had to hit
There
the
we go.
three dots. Get
Yeah,
hum.
they
Down the
changed it a little
steps.
bit. So yeah. But see, then I could click on it. I could see what exactly Jamie he did, why he did it, without actually going into the README and seeing his changes. Like, oh, I see he updated the list links. Okay, sounds good.
So you can actually see in blue here, these are the things that I moved it, and then see the little plus sign, I added those things in.
Yep.
So it lets you see exactly what's going on. Again, I don't want to get too deep into this, but I just
Yeah.
want you to be aware that it's there. Ready for the next step? Let's add a file that I edited on my computer. So the way I do that, I go to add file, upload file. And I'm going to grab something from here. I am going to grab word art. I grab this one right here. Word art 10. No, I don't want that one because it has spaces. I'm going to do one that I have set properly for.
So this is, you can
web.
drag and, so Jamie, you can't quite see the drag and drop, but just to give you
Yeah.
all a heads up, all you gotta do is pull up your File Explorer or Finder window in a Mac and drag your files into the GitHub repo. That's
Yes.
click the add file. It goes over here, choose your files and
That's it.
commit your changes.
We need to add our commit changes. So added image of mentor names. Not going to, yep, as I was saying, not going to misspell anything. I misspell going to spell this time. There we go. And committing it to the main branch, commit changes. And with that, boo bam.
Look at that.
So I just added this right here. We know it is a picture. If I click on that picture, it actually shows it. That's pretty neat, right? Easy peasy.
Very cool. Yeah.
Let's go to the next level. When I say customize your README file, that means that you can actually add pictures. Now I'm gonna actually use this link, this GitHub Markdown link that tells you different ways to do things, and I am gonna look for images. And it shows us right here in the example. Now, don't get me wrong, I know what I'm looking for, but right here on the images, it says I need to add an exclamation point, a bracket, something to describe it, and then the URL of it.
Nice.
And
This
that's
is
the
also
equivalent.
gives you
That's the
HTML
equivalent of the HTML version. And the fact is, you can use either or. It's up to you. As you see, I can go back and forth, and it just doesn't make a difference.
And you can
But
use both of them at the same time. You know, it doesn't have
yes,
to be all HTML or all Markdown. It could be, oh shoot, I don't know how to do links in HTML, or let me just do it in Markdown. Oh, I don't know how to do images in Markdown. Well, let me do that in HTML. Whatever
floats
works.
your boat.
Exactly.
So I'm going back into my README file, and down here at the bottom, I'm going to use the way they said to do it. You know what? How would I actually do this in the real world? I would go here and I'd be like, okay, I need to do it this way. So I'm just going to copy that. Come here, I'm going to paste it. So instead of foo, I'm going to say mentor names. For my URL, it's where it is. Now I'm gonna open this so you can see it, so you know I'm not doing any magic sorcery. So mentor names is right here in the root of the directory. So it's in the same directory as the README file. So I don't have to do any long path, but I do need to know the name of the file. So what I'm gonna do to get that, I'm just gonna click on it and copy it from right here. Mentor names, copy, go back to my document. And the URL for this one's going to be this. And because we care about people who are visually impaired and whatnot, we're going to add some, for the title, we're going to add some text here for them as our alt text. And we're going to say this is a image with all mentor names as a, well, I'll just say that. That's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah, we'll go to preview. Let's see if it works. Well, hi ho diggity. There it is. Go back to edit.
That's gonna be my new catchphrase.
I'm going to commit changes. And this time, instead of update README, I'm going to say added mentor names image. And commit.
Always gotta commit. Gotta commit your changes.
Here in GitHub, we are committed. Feel good? So we've been able to drag files in. We've been able to modify our README file. We are even able to customize it with pictures and things like that. And of course, we have a link here to show how to do that. We okay? Thumbs up?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
All right.
Next level. Believe it or not, this is actually one of the things that usually trips people up. We're going to add a collaborator. So I'm going to go to GitHub. I'm going to go back to my main part of my repository. So when I say main part of my repository, what I mean is github.com/my username/ the name of the repository. That's the main root of your repository. But I know that I want to work with Charlie on this project. Now I need to shrink this a little bit more so you can, there we go. So we can see all the settings up here. In the upper right-hand corner, there's this button settings. Charlie, can I get a circle on that one? There we go. There's a settings button here. Inside of settings, we're going to be able to add collaborators. So what this means is the people on your team, you're going to be able to add them. There's a catch here. And I'm going to show it to you because it irritates the crap out of me, but it is what it is. We're going to add a collaborator here because it doesn't work the way we're used to collaborators work. So I clicked on settings. Over on the right here, we have the collaborators selection here under access. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to ask for my MFA. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out.
Everything is MFA.
GitHub. MFAs are the way of the world. So
You just need to get rid of passwords and just have MFA.
oop, I'm not typing Jack. There we go.
You're still not typing Jack. You're typing 986210.
That's right. Now I haven't added any collaborators to this. I want to add one, and I am going to add Charlie. Now here's the catch. People who make their GitHub repositories, generally speaking, they're going to use their personal email address. And I actually suggest you do the same thing. The reason I say that is because your GitHub account is just that, your GitHub account. So be you at the university or organization you're with right now, or in the future, you're with another one, you want to be able to get to this. So you want to use their personal one. Now, in this case, I want to use Charlie. But here's one of the tricks. It's not going to show me the Charlie that I just happen to know. It's going to show me every Charlie that's on the system. So you're going to have to ask your collaborators what their GitHub username is. And I'll show you why. Hey, Charlie, what's your
Sir?
username?
It's Ubik10.
That's
There
not
we
how I
go.
spell it. Is that it?
That's me. That's me.
UBIK
I'm
UBIK
95%.
10.
That's it. That is me.
How would I have known that was Charlie?
I
That's
don't
why
look
you
like
have
that.
to ask. That is why you have to ask. And I'm going to add him. Now so that's one thing. You have to get their username from them. Their GitHub username from them. Yes.
Now I just got an email,
So
and
I'm going
the
to
email.
stop. I'm going to stop the share. There we go. Go ahead and show your share. Here's the other side of the equation, the part that we never get to see. When
All
we
right,
add
hang on.
someone, they have to add it. So don't click on the email yet, Charlie. Go to GitHub
Okay.
first.
All right.
This is something that truly, it kind of pisses me off. It is what it is. It's frustrating, and I don't know why Microsoft won't do something about it.
Okay, let me share my screen here. This is screen 2 today, so I'm sharing screen 2. Hopefully you can see my screen 2 properly.
We're waiting. Waiting. There we go.
Got it? Can you
It's
share it
coming. It's
properly?
coming. It's coming. It says it started screen sharing. We're just waiting for the actual screen to show up. There we go. Now we can see your screen too.
All right, so I'm going to GitHub over here. GitHub. Here.
There we go. And Charlie's going to log in. All right.
Hello, computer.
You're going to see why I want you to see this here in a moment, because to me, it's frustrating.
I just signed into GitHub. Let's see.
Okay. So he's logged in. Ooh, global. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, no, I'm looking.
Side note. No. All right. So Charlie's logged in. Charlie, can you see my invitation anywhere? Of course, it should be under that his inbox. Let's go there. Let's see if it's there.
Oh, hey,
Oh,
there it
yours
is.
actually
No,
shows up.
no.
Mine doesn't.
No, it's not.
Mine
That's
doesn't do
something
that.
I subscribed to that. That's why.
Oh, okay.
You have to
Okay.
subscribe.
If you weren't
So,
subscribed, you wouldn't see it. Normally, under
I can go to
normal
my-
circumstances, there's nothing here. It doesn't show up there. You have to go to the email and click the link. If you don't, it will never add him. So
now I'm going here.
for your teammates, when you add them to your repository, tell them to go to their email and click the link to actually become a part of that GitHub repository. Otherwise, it will not happen.
And I should probably update my photo on. But see,
And now he has it.
Now I'm here. I accepted it. I'm here. Jamie has invited me to do stuff. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to edit this README file. So I'm going to go here to the README, and I'm going to go ahead and click on code. And I am going to put down a user. Update a little bit. So, oh, code is read-only. Why is it read-only? That is fine. And I'm going to edit this. And this is pandemics overview. I'm going to collaborate with Jamie on this. I'm waiting to have a little bit of mouse action. Where is my mouse?
Edit.
Come on, mouse.
You're on preview. You gotta edit.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on preview.
Now
there you go. Now you. Huh.
Why can't I
Now
edit?
you're edit. Now you should be able to change some stuff. So I saw the commit changes button come up.
There we go. My machine's just acting little. There, I have no cursing. That's it. There's no cursing. Hackathon has an overview, and Charlie is collaborating on this with Jimmy Powell. Hi, Jamie. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and commit my changes.
Mhm.
I'm going to go and commit. I'm going to say update README, added my name. Let's see. Updated the README and be to reflect that I am collaborating with Jamie. Keyboard is just a bit to the left. So I had to move it back to the right. So my buttons are on the right place. You know what I'm talking about. When your
Mhm.
keyboard's just not where it should be. Or my chair's not where it should be. All right. And now I'm going to commit directly to the main branch. Let's not talk about branches. We're trying to keep things simple right now. I'm
Yes.
commit to the main branch. So
right.
now it's been committed. Now I'm going to stop my share, and
And
Jamie.
I'm going to do my share. So I'm going to overshare you here. Do that. Now, I'm back in my repository. I'm going to go to the main one. Added image of mentor names. Updated, added my name. What in the world? What did
That was
Charlie?
a really, really
Oh,
bad
Charlie
message.
added some stuff. And there it is.
That's a really
No big-
bad message. I should have made that a little
No,
bit
but
more
still,
clear.
the
It's
point
there.
is that it's there, it works. Now, I'm going to say this, and it's up to you if you want to do this. I'm going to tell you right now, once you get on this road, you're on your own, because I don't do this. I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to be like, I don't want this crap. And I'm going to go here, and I'm actually going to fix this because I am so sick of this not looking right. And I'm going to say this is HPC in the city, pandemics. And I want to add this here, GitHub overview. That looks good. I'm going to commit it, but I also know that now I'm working with someone. So I'm going to say style changed. And I'm going to put in here, removed. Stick with me on this. I know you've seen this a couple times now. Stick with me. Remove Charlie's stuff and fix
I need this.
header. But here's what I'm going to do. Again, this is a road that if you go down, it can get dark. It can be a dark and scary night. I'm going to select create new branch for this commit and start a pull request. And I'm going to leave it as my username patch. Why not? No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to say Jimmy, the version I like. Proposed change. So all that information's in here. I added style change, all that's there. And I'm going to create what's called a pull request. This is where life starts getting interesting. I'm going to go back to my code here. Instead of it just saying there's one branch, now there are two branches. In the first branch, the main branch or master branch in this case, there's Charlie stuff. If I drop click little drop down arrow, I can go to my branch. And there's my version of it.
Yeah. See, the joy of these branches is different coders can have their own branches that they're working on, so we're not stepping on each other's toes while we're coding. Another thing you can do with branching is, let's say you have a software package version 1.10, and now you're working on version 1.15. Well, the problem here is, I don't want those two versions to collide with each other, but I still have to maintain version 1. So we'll have two branches. One branch is version 1, one branch is version 1.5. And as
Yeah.
soon as 1.5 is done, we can roll that into version 1 and change the entire branch to version 1.15. So
Not to mention, it also allows you to make changes and see if you like them before they go live, before they're part of what we call production. Now, to merge them together is this thing called a merge pull request, which I will straight up tell you, pull request does not make sense in my brain for some reason, but that is GitHub terminology. Merge makes sense. Creating a pull request doesn't, but we can actually merge the branches together. We can confirm it. And what that
now when
does
you
is it pulls
now
it
be
in.
careful with merges, especially if you have, let's say, Jamie has a hello world program and I also have a hello world program, and we're trying to merge the two together. It's going to say, hey, they're two hello world programs, and it'll show you what do you want to keep, and then you have to go through and say, oh, this is from branch 1, we want to keep this. This is from branch 2, we want to keep this, and we want to get rid of all that, and it'll make a successful merge. Merging gets very confusing, as Jamie
It
said.
can.
There are some people
Be
whose
careful.
jobs on the software engineering team is to just manage merges. So take that for what it is. Be careful when you use it.
Yeah. And so
now
remember on Charlie's, it still had the lowercase header. Remember, he had text in there. I've merged it. Now, when I go back to main, you see that the main one now looks the way mine does. What that means also is that all the work that Charlie did, I have removed. This is the simple version. I just want you to be aware that you can make a branch. So if you think of your code as a tree, you can have a branch that you could try things on. You can work on the code and things like that. And then you can pull them back into the main code. But you want to be very careful doing it because it can actually delete other things.
Yes.
But I wanted you to at least be aware of it. It's part of the power and the problem with, with GitHub.
Yes.
So we've talked about readme.md. We've talked about Markdown. We talked about adding files. We talked about branches. We talked about merging. I'm bringing you in for the home squad. I'm bringing you in for a landing for this last little bit. Two
Hang on,
things. The first,
let me get my annotation ready because this one's a tough one.
on code, you can download the code to your computer. So that is there. You can also add it if you have gotten really used to using, if you are a user of VS Code, or if you want to do it locally, you can copy this link right here and drop it in to your editor of choice. You can even add this to Colab, believe it or not. Which, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to Colab. I'm doing it.
This is bad.
So if you've never used it before, colab.research.google.com, a very, very powerful tool that allows you to collaborate on different software tools, and software allows you to do reproducible science. I'm going to create a new notebook. And let's say we want to work together on this code again. I can actually go to File, and I can save it to GitHub. I can save this as a gist. And I know what I did. I went to File and New, when what I really needed to do was go to, see, this is why we don't go off script, Charlie. Now I've done it. Now I've done it.
You can recover. I can feel it. I can feel you recovering. You're good.
It's right here. I know it's right here. Let me try this again.
Oh,
there we go. This is the window that I need. I can go to
there you
GitHub.
are. Now
I can paste the GitHub link in there.
enter a GitHub URL. So once that URL,
I can drop it in, and it will actually pull everything in. Whoa, it's pulling the wrong one though.
It's specifically looking for a IPNBY file, so which you don't have in your overview.
Yeah, I didn't have to get the .git I needed to take out.
Okay.
Has that. it even lets you pull from whatever branch you want. I can do the main branch. That's fine.
But you notice both of those new branches are in there. But yeah, what it's looking for, Jamie, is a notebook file, which you
Oh,
don't
that's
have a
right. To open up. That's true. That is true. But just to say that it is there, it is available, it is a thing.
But Jamie, go to File, click on File up there.
I closed it.
No, that's okay. If you notice, there is a.
Save to GitHub.
So now Jamie can work on this notebook, and he can
Mhm.
save it to GitHub. I can then get that notebook, and I can work on it as well through GitHub. Or, of
Mhm.
course, we can collaborate on Colab, but that is what you want to do. Since GitHub, your GitHub repository is supposed to have everything from your slide decks to your code to your some sample data sets.
And let me
Everything
say,
should be in that GitHub repo. This
and
is
I'll
how you
also
can
say
put
out
stuff
loud,
in there.
even if you're using the TAC resources, so the TAC Jupyter notebooks, that
Mhm.
listing is still there as well. It is
Good,
still
good,
there.
cool.
All right. Here's the lat. Now here's your last bonus
Ooh,
item.
this is the tough one if
There's
it's what I'm thinking it is.
there's a lot here. There's code spaces, so you can edit it online, all this other stuff. That's great. But here's your last bonus thing for your team. If you want your team's project to pop, I know for a fact that Kelly's team, as one of her possible outputs, said dashboard. Soon as she said dashboard, that means it needs to be hosted somewhere. But guess
Website.
what? GitHub gives you that for free. And here's the way you do it. So again, I'm just in my main code branch. If I
That
go to settings
branch
again,
settings.
and over on the left-hand side, we have pages. Pages. Inside of pages, see it says build and deploy from a branch,
Sorry.
which is fine.
What not-
And then it asks
All right.
which
See,
branch.
branch.
So I'm going to do it from my main branch, from the root of the site. So from right there at the beginning, and I'll hit save. Believe it or not, that's it. That's it. Now it takes a minute to make. So if I go to code,
Yeah, there
it's
should be
actually in the
a
process
little.
of making. That little orange dot right there lets us know it's making it. But I'm going to add a trick here that I always show people that they forget. There's a little gear right here next to about. You can click on that and then go to use your GitHub Pages website. If you notice, this looks a little familiar. So instead of it being github.com/mehp/HPC in the city GitHub overview, now it changes to jmehp.github.io/HPC in the city/overview. I'm going to save that. So my link is here. I always do that to make it easy. Now this is still orange. So it's going to take a little while. And by a little while, usually it can take anywhere from 5, well, maybe
5 to
2
12
to
hours.
5 minutes, depending upon the size of the site. But you all should notice something. Anybody remember
There we
what
go,
the,
Jamie.
yep, it's ready. Okay. And when it's ready, it gives you a blue check. If there's a problem, it gives you a red X. But if I click on that now, now it's a website.
Yeah, look at that. You see
Well, wait,
this
let me prove it.
URL?
Let me prove it. I'm dropping that link in chat. Y'all try it. Because see, Jamie could be faking the funk. Are y'all able to get to it?
Yes, it worked.
See that? And this is the README file.
It
Jamie didn't
works.
say anything.
Do the
He didn't
lasers.
designate an
There it
index.
is.
He didn't designate nothing. It went to the readme.md file and threw it up there.
That's right.
Now, if you had other HTML files inside of your GitHub repo, you would just put that into the URL and it would go there directly. So let's say you
Right.
don't want the readme.md file to be your landing page. You wanted a traditional index.html
You
or
can do that.
whatever, or main. You can do that.
Yes.
All you have to do is change that URL around. So if you
Now,
want to do that,
I do want you to notice one thing though, that it can catch you up. Remember this, if you remember from our code, let me go back to that. Let me go back here.
oh yes.
So remember this first one, in my code, so I'm going to show you the code. I'm going to show you my markdown. I just want to see the code. There we go. In my markdown, this first under important links, I just put the address there. The other ones, I actually put some code there. So I did the markdown version of a link, and then I did the HTML version of a link. I go back to that page. There we go. You notice the one where I just put the link doesn't automatically become a link on the pages version.
Yeah.
But when I actually set it, and of course the ahref one, the anchor one, works as well. So that's just one of those little tricks. It bothered me at first, but I had to learn. And one more thing, just because, you know, I'm going to go to view page source to prove something else. There's head, body, H1, href. It's in the paragraph, like I said. It did the anchors the way they were supposed to do. So when we say it literally takes the markdown and turns it into HTML, that's exactly what it does. This page can be as complex or as simple as you want. Why can I say that? Let's go back to our repo. And this is the last thing I'm going to show you. So I'm a part of a couple of different organizations. And by organization, well, I mean, I'm literally a part of a couple of different organizations. But in terms of GitHub, you can join different organizations where you can have different bits of information. For instance, Hack HPC. Hey, there's a repository called HPC in the City 23. Huh. And when I click on it, it's a full website. Huh. And when I click on this link that looks ever so familiar, this is actually our website. So everything that's up here, believe it or not, it's right here in this repository.
Alrighty.
So when I say it can be as complex or as simple, so as complex or as simple as you want it to be, it truly can be. Here's my last tip. My last tip, and this is actually, is also on the resources file, is if you're going to make a site for your project and I'm not a UI guy. And by UI, I mean user interface guy. I'm just not. I would love to say I was, but I'm not. But what I am good at is changing other people's stuff. And so the page that was created there is using something called Jekyll. And so if I go to search here and I just search for Jekyll themes, a ton of sites come up, including this one right here. I think it's the one I use a lot. No, that's not the one. Back it up. I think it's free Jekyll. There we go.
Yes,
Browse themes. And I want to go to the free ones because people charge. You can go in and select one of these themes and just drop it in and then modify the information in order to make it work. I'm just putting that out there. You don't have to use it.
I'm going to also say playing with themes can be very addicting. And
you can go down the rabbit hole.
You can go down a little rabbit hole because, oh my God, this theme's so cool and this one's so cool and I can do this animation, that animation, which is great. However, we're in the middle of a hackathon. We have a limited time. So find something that works with you and stick with it. If you have time at the end of the hack and you want to go and make things prettier, that is when you can go back and make things prettier. Don't worry about the prettiness now. Right now, the idea is to get your apps and data and functionality going, and then come back and say, all right, now let's make this thing pretty. So be careful going down those themes. I've been there. Jamie's been there. And
still there. But having said that, I'm actually going to go ahead and stop our recording and, of course, answer any questions you have.